Hey, hey, hey.
Here we go. It's my time to rise.
It's that time, y'all.
It's my time to shine. It's my
Story
time to
time.
live.
Yes.
It's my
Hey.
time to fly. It's
Whose
my
time is it today?
time.
Yes.
It's my time.
Story time.
I can see it. I can feel it. Time has
Oh,
come
yeah.
now to reveal it. I've been
I'm waiting
waiting
for my
for
guests to
a
come on
long
in the room. I
time.
want to
Gotta
thank you
do
so much for
it.
coming
Let
part of
nothing
Story
hold me
Time.
down. Gotta do it. Cause I may not get another chance. I believe it.
Hey, 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 hey,
I
hey, hey,
want
hey,
it.
hey,
I
hey.
can't
Yes.
believe it.
Your time to shine
I'm
today, girl. Oh,
falling,
yeah.
done with losing. I can do
There it
it.
is, ladies and gentlemen.
I think I'll tell
I
myself.
thank you so much for being on time and ready.
Yes.
I had the term that said be ready. Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the room today. I am so excited. I am just elated to have another episode of Story Time. And today I am just really, really tickled pink because it's a little special for me because this is my first guest who goes way back with me. You know, this young lady right here, I've known her since high school. All right. So this is a really, really good deal. And let me tell you a little bit about our guest today. Her name is Valerie Lyons. She's the founder of Valerie Lyons Enterprise. She's a passionate career healer, guys. And she does women empowerment. And she ignites something in those ladies. She's a power networker. She's the author of the book called Power Networking from the Inside Out. All right. So she helps you to find out where your career and your well-being meets. Okay, how about that? She has over 15 years of experience, y'all. She's positive and she's impacting and teaching people all over the world how to be professional and take their personal lives and mesh those two together. She's a dynamic speaker, an expert group facilitator who works with individuals and groups to provide them with practical and systematic approaches to actualizing their goals. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Miss Valerie Lyons out of New York City. My girl, all the way from high school, Jamaica High, in the house, Queens, New York, stand up. And I present to those who've never seen it before, the amazing Valerie Lyons. I want to welcome you. And I don't know what just happened because it looks like you lost me. I can't see you no more. Where'd you go, girl? Where'd you go? All right. Let me see. Let me invite you again. I don't know what happened because you was there and then you left me. I see we got David's in the building today. D boy, D in
Yes.
the building. Listen, I don't know what happened. I guess you got so excited and it kicked you off. But ladies and gentlemen, there she is. Her name is Valerie Lyons, and I am so excited. Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. And I'm grateful, Crystal. You know, and that's the theme of my share today. Just aging gratefully.
That's it. That's it. That's it. And you know what? That topic is so amazing. Do me a favor, sit back just a little bit so we can see that beautiful face. I want them to see that whole thing. I want them to take in
Let me see.
all of that. So listen, this young lady right here has a topic called aging gratefully. And I want you to explain what exactly do you mean by that? Because most people are just getting old and having birthdays. But before we do that, I want you to tell them a little bit about who is Valerie Lyons outside of what I just described. Who was Valerie Lyons before you started Valerie Lyons Enterprise, before you wrote the book, before all this, before you started helping people to do this with their lives and their careers? Who is Valerie Lyons from the time she was a little girl?
Valerie Lyons, I am someone who grew into myself. When I was younger, I didn't appreciate, I didn't recognize my strength, my power, my impact. I've always been someone that engaged people or interacted with people very easily. People would always feel comfortable sharing who they were. And I knew early on that I had a gift of creating a space where people could just be comfortable with being who they really are. But I wanted to be someone else. You know, growing up as a dark-skinned young lady. I didn't have big breasts. I didn't have the curves. So I saw myself as I had a weak eye muscle. So I saw myself as flawed. As a child, I saw myself as flawed, and I didn't really get who I really was. And as I grew in my maturity and my wisdom, and I really got the power of interacting with people who were loving, kind, and compassionate, and were interested in life and seeking. As I grew and as I matured in my wisdom and in my self-confidence, it became clear to me that I'm on this planet to be of service and to give and to support and to love on people. And so in my life, I've been blessed with creating powerful networks of support. And I see many of the people who have supported me along the way that are showing up on this live. I have just been extremely blessed with always meeting people who were up to great things, and meeting people who I could support and who could support me. And so for me, networking became a real cornerstone of my success. And I talk a lot about that. But at 61 and proud, I don't say 61 years young. And I got nothing against people who say that. But I'm a proud 61-year-old woman on this planet, feeling confident, feeling good about who I am, feeling sexy, feeling vibrant, because I really get, and Crystal, you and I both know, we just lost someone in our community, someone we went to high school with the other day. If we're not able to acknowledge the blessing of being alive now, I said to someone the other day, my future is now. My future is right here, right now. It's in my face. And I just want to continue to live a joy-driven life. And that is a platform that I use in my business. It's a platform I use in my life. Look for the joy. Look for the joy. Put it in where it's missing, because we don't know how long we're going to be on this planet. And when I was younger, I would see that as morbid to think about our mortality. I didn't want to talk about it. Now I feel it's clearly a reality, and it's also a motivator, because we don't know how long we're going to be on this planet. What are we doing now? What are we doing to live powerfully now? So that's kind of, where I am in my life.
Listen here, I had a surprise for you. David Boy popped in here, high school, Jamaica High in the building.
Yes.
I wanted him to just come in and say hello to the people.
Hey.
He understands what aging gracefully means.
Yes, he certainly does. And I just have to say, Chris, I was going to say, the beautiful pictures of you and your mom, your mother.
Thank you.
Know that it touches me deeply. I know I'm not the only one.
Thank you, ladies.
So thing. It's
so
a beautiful
good to
thing.
see you both. And
so
great work. Wow.
Yes.
I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know that I was signing on, to be honest with you. I was just trying to say hello.
I just wanted you to come and listen, Dave. The subject today is aging gratefully. For one quick moment, because I know you take care of your mother. What do you feel about that topic that Valerie's about to share today? Aging gratefully. Just seeing what you see, being there with your mom. What do you think about that topic? And what does aging gratefully mean to you?
It's two things. On my side of the fence, it's being able to take care of my mom, who's done so much for me, who's loved in ways that only a mom can do. And mine is, the best of the best as far as I'm concerned. On her side, she has done so much in her life, and so much of it has been giving service to other people. She worked at the district attorney's office as a crimes victim advocate. She was the director of her camp, for her church camp up in the Catskill Mountains. She's given so much. She's known around the church too as the matchmaker. She won't admit to that, but so she's given so much. So it is my pleasure. I don't want to say duty, but it's my responsibility to be able to do what I'm doing right now. For those kids who are not doing for their parents, I say shame on them. Shame on them.
Wow. And Dave, I want to say this as the photographer, because when Val explains this, I just want to utilize this for a moment. You bring out that in people. You bring out the beauty. You bring out the sexiness. You bring out everything a person wants to feel at their age with your gift as a photographer. Talk about that for a minute. Do you have people come to you that feel like, do they say to you, listen, when I do this photo shoot, I want you to make me look good? Do you get that a lot when people come to you?
Not so much. Sometimes I really enjoy bringing out some of the beauty people don't realize they have. That's kind of one of my superpowers, is doing that.
That's a good.
And I just, I see the beauty in people, and so I try to capture at least what I see. Sometimes doesn't work out. Sometimes they don't want what I see, but that's what I do, and I've always done that, so it's just kind of what I do naturally. I think also my relationship, I try to connect with the people that I'm shooting. Even ones I just meet, I try to have consultations so I get an idea of who they are and what they like. And that, I think, is the difference between me and another Joe Blow photographer who may be an excellent photographer, but my people thing is real. How I feel about people and making them look great is sounds trite, but a passion of mine.
Well, thank you so much. And
All
Valerie, right. Ask him anything in regards to, or say anything to him regarding to the aging gratefully.
I just admire you so much. And, social media is a powerful tool. And I just appreciate your gift. I appreciate your commitment to your mother. I appreciate your commitment to your art and to our community, Jamaica High School, class of 78. Not for nothing. We're alive and well, many of us. And it is something to celebrate each moment.
It is.
Each moment. So thank you.
Yeah. And I just want to say thank you. What you're doing, what both of you are doing, is changing lives. And to give some love to Donna, who passed.
Yes. Yes.
Be down.
Yes.
I love you. I've got an audition to get in. I'm in the booth. So
all right.
I'm not gonna stay. I love you.
We appreciate you,
okay.
Dave.
All right,
Dave.
Talk to y'all later.
I just wanted you to get that opportunity to know.
That's great. That was wonderful.
That love. So let's talk about it now. Aging gratefully. What you said something powerful. You say I'm 61 years old, and a lot of people say 61 years young. Let's talk about that. Why do you think people do that? Why do you think
I get why people do it, because the age is just a number, and it's what you feel inside. If you're feeling youthful, and it's a way of acknowledging, even though I'm getting older, there's still a youthful spirit about me, and I'm not going to feed into being old, but I'm out to change what it means to be old. It's not a bad word. It's not a bad word. And for me, embracing my eldership has me in the present. I do not want to turn the hands of time. I don't want to go back. When I was younger, I wasn't as confident. When I was younger, I second guessed myself. When I was younger, I didn't feel beautiful. When I was younger, I was not into, I wasn't as self-aware. So for me, I want to embrace being 61 years old, because to me, it's an acknowledgement of all that I've accomplished over the years, right? And I don't have a problem with it. I want to reframe what it means to be old. It doesn't mean it's over. Being older doesn't mean it's over. It's a wonderful thing when you can embrace who you are and what you've accomplished over the years and be proud. Because when I say I'm 61 years old, most times people say, wow, you look good for 60, 61. I thought you were 50. I thought you were 40 something. And guess what? That's all good. I want to feel good. I'm more concerned about how I feel and what I'm doing to maintain my mental health, my spiritual health, my physical health. Because I know the more I pay attention to my mental health, physical health, and spiritual health, the more vibrant, the more alive I will be.
So let me ask you something. Is that a compliment? Is that really a compliment? When people say you look good for your age, let's talk about that a minute. Is that really a compliment? I mean, because someone said that. I think Linda said that one day. She said when people say that, it's almost like they're surprised. They're surprised that people look that well at that age.
Well, I take it as a compliment. I create it as a compliment. And it's because we have it that when you get to be a certain age, you are bent over, or not, we have an idea of what it looks like to be a particular age. So in our minds, when we see somebody who's stylish or who exerts a certain amount of energy, that's not what we thought a 61-year-old was supposed to look like. So I don't get too caught up in how other people perceive it. I'm staying in my daggone lane.
All right.
And I'm going to create compliments, whether there is or it's not. I figure I'd rather, listen, if I'm going to make stuff up, I might as well make stuff up that's positive. I don't know what people's motivations are, but I'm going to create that it's a compliment, and I'm going to feel good about it.
So let's talk about that. Let's just say that we're both 61 years old. Let's just say somebody's watching this. They come back, they do the replay. They're 61, and they say, dang, how can I get there? What can I do? What's the first step? What do you think is the first step to aging gratefully, to getting that shift in the mind and to just, turn things around for the person who may not have been blessed, and is there a possibility they can turn things around?
Right. I don't know people's particular situations. There's no blueprint. What I say is it first starts with self-acceptance. How about that? Can I embrace who I am now? Am I comfortable in my own skin? One of the things that we do, which is really challenging, and we're human beings, so we're going to do it, we compare ourselves to other people. Right. Stop it.
Right.
Let's stop. If we can stop comparing ourselves, right? Because there's a lot of energy that goes out when we compare ourselves. And then we have the I'm not as good as, I'm not as attractive, I'm not thin enough, I'm not light enough. Listen, I got a shaved head up in this piece, all right? It's accepting. My hair was thinning. And I was rocking a wig. And it got to be too much. And one day Wayne, my brother Wayne, who has a shaved head, came and he shaved my head, and I looked and he was shaving it, and I looked at myself. I said, I see myself. So what can we do to truly see ourselves?
Wow.
How can we really be in touch with who we really are? And I'll tell you one thing that helps me a lot too. It's my own growth and journey and work. I've done a lot of work, might I say that? Some of us, you might want to explore therapy. Some of us, might want to explore coaching, because we carry so much from our past.
Yes.
It's a burden. So the things that people said who we are, there's a lot of things to clean up.
Yes.
There's have a clean slate in life. There's a lot to clean up. And I'm not ashamed to say I am in therapy. I'm grateful. I have a coach. I have a couple of coaches. I make sure I surround myself with people who can support me, because I am one to support. So I say to folks, you know what? Take care of yourself. There may be some issues that you've been struggling with and grappling with, and you feel like that you have to carry this burden for the rest of your life. No, you don't. No, you don't. Release it. Get the support that you need. We can't do this life alone. How about that? You lone wolves out there that think you can do life alone? Stop it. So give people the opportunity, and it is an opportunity to help others. Open your heart and allow others in, and allow others to support you.
So you said something really key. You said something really, really key. You said, tune into yourself. You said, explore yourself. Do you feel as though a lot of people get caught up in age with being consumed in their roles, like as a wife, as a mother, as a business owner, and they miss out on really finding themselves and really finding true happiness and being able to age gratefully because of that?
And it is not easy, right? For those of us who have children, grandchildren, those of us who are taking care of elders, those of us who are in jobs where we're caring for others and supporting others, we get lost in that, in the giving. We often get lost in the giving. But my message to you, and what I'm encouraging you to do, is to choose you. Even inside of that, is there an opportunity for you to take some time to really think about and explore what is it that you want out of life? How do you want to live your life? You know, if you're working, what kind of work do you really want? What is your, even if it's not a passion, you know what doesn't work. So I really encourage, we have to give ourselves permission. Ain't nobody gonna give us permission. How about that? To take time for ourselves and focus on our needs. But not for nothing, this aging gracefully reminds me life is short. When are we going to choose ourselves? When? What is it going to take for us to choose ourselves?
Wow. That's deep, because a lot of time as mothers, as wives, as caregivers, we really don't. We get that much of the time. Like we fit ourselves in last after we've done everything for everyone else. So I heard you say you're doing therapy, you're doing some things. How would you help someone that maybe watching that wants to find more time for themselves? What would you suggest to them? How would they begin that process to begin to give themselves more time, to begin to appreciate themselves more, to begin to appreciate that they are aging? And here's the second part of that question. What if they're not aging in such a, what they call a way that they want to be grateful? What if they're sickly? What if they're having a hard time? What if they're sad? How can we encourage them to still be grateful in those situations?
Well, let me say this. Everyone's situation is different. There is no a quick fix. This is not about a quick fix. Everyone's situation is different. But I know that one of the things that helps and creates a lot of support for people is creating a community of support. Now, I know that some people might find it difficult to have a support team, but I definitely know doing life alone it does not work. So the extent to which we can reach out to others, and I know, Crystal, in your work, you create communities. God knows I do the same. And for anyone who's watching that is not following me, please do. I have these monthly creating your joy-driven life conversations where I bring people together, feature somebody. So it's how can I engage in a community of support, finding time. That's something, again, I don't know what each person's unique situation is, but one thing I do know is when you choose yourself, and I want to say, I'm offering people, I'm encouraging people to give yourself permission to take time, because I would venture to say that what happens in some situations is we don't put ourselves first. We have responsibilities, we have commitments, but is there some time? Might there be an hour, a day? Might there be some time? Now listen, if we were to be honest with each other, there are people that this happens because we're human. We sometimes use our commitment so we don't have to deal with our lives. How about that? How about that? How about using our commitments as an excuse to not deal with our lives? And we have to be honest with ourselves. And I hope that what I'm saying resonates with someone, and you know that I'm not blaming you. This is not about blame. This is us. Can we get real with ourselves? Because again, you have one life. This is as far as I know.
Wow. So you said you talk about joy a lot. You talk about joy a lot. Let's touch base on that for a minute. And you said that you do have something, you have conversations on a monthly basis. Once again, you're speaking with Val Lyons. If you hit the arrow on the top of the screen, that is how you can follow her. We want you to make sure that you do follow her, because she does have these monthly events where she allows you to engage with others, as she mentioned, in a community. But let's talk about the joy. A lot of people might be lacking that joy. Do you agree? I guess that's why you decided to do that. That's why you came up with this concept. Let's talk about that.
Yes. Well, see, joy is internal. Happiness is a reaction to something that happens on the outside. So your happiness is going to fluctuate based on what's going on in the world, based on circumstance, right? Joy is something that you have, that you build within. And some people source joy spiritually. Some people source joy emotionally. Some people source joy physically, so it's finding out what is your source to joy. I know I source joy spiritually, and spiritually for me is not just it's not religion necessarily, right? But it's engaging in something that brings me out of myself. I recognize that there's more to life and there's more in this world than Val. There's something else that's there, that there's a source, there's energy that creates a sense of comfort and peace. So it's finding that whatever it is that draws peace towards you, I think can be a source for joy. But again, people, it's your quest. I think being a seeker, having a desire. I remember distinctly, and I'm going to say 1997. I was working for Samaritan Village as the director of vocational services. And this thing came in my head. There's more to life than this. There's more. And that message has come to me in different points in my life. There's more to life. So when you hear that message, and I know that you've heard it, those who are listening, there's more to life than this. That has us in a place of seeking. And what that has us is in a place of seeking joy. That has us in a place of seeking joy and fulfillment. So it's your desire and your knowing internally that there's something more. There's something more to hold on to. There's something more to grab. There's something more to support. And as you continue to seek, you'll find it, because that's your mission. That's your vision. You have it. A path that you're creating in your knowing and in your quest. So it's really being intentional. So I'm going to encourage people to be intentional. Don't stop dreaming for more. Don't stop dreaming for a life that you love. It ain't over. If you're watching this video, it ain't over.
Now, what if that person feel like it's over because somebody left them, they're by themselves, they attempted at some things, they failed, nothing's going right, they're aging, they're empty nester, everybody done left the house, they're alone. What do you say to those people? Like those people who have no motivation, they lack motivation. Do you think those people are really the ones that need to get in these communities, or what do they need to do? They really need therapy. We want to give people some ideas on how they can begin to be grateful that they are still alive. They can begin to be grateful.
I'm going to encourage people seriously to meditate and pray.
Wow.
I know that one of the toughest times in my life, I was married to a wonderful man. And it was a very difficult time in our marriage. And I remember getting on my knees every night and saying, Lord, please help me. Please help me. And I would just say, Lord, please help me. Lord, please help me. I thought that was a plea and it was a prayer. So I'm going to encourage people, sometimes that's all you can do is to meditate and to pray and to ask for guidance, ask for support. Just continue, and you may not see it show up right away, but it will show up.
Wow.
I'll say something else.
Don't hold it in. Don't suppress it. Don't be depressed in a quiet room, sit in the house. Get out. Maybe that's something too. Get out, mingle, network. That helps.
Let me tell you something. During this pandemic, one of the things that made the difference, I live in Harlem, was walking to Central Park. And I still do, walking to Central Park, just being out in the air, being close to nature. So for those who may feel isolated or may be isolated, the extent to which you can just take a walk, just get out in the air, has you feeling alive. Has you feeling alive. I hope that this is encouraging to someone.
Yes. Feeling alive, smelling the fresh air, smelling the roses, paying attention. Look. Listening to the birds on the side of the road, watching them, that stuff, it does something to me. You know what, Valerie? There was a time when I didn't stop and sit in the park and just watch the little birds. One time I even sat there and watched some ants I watched them carry something across, and I just sat there and I watched. That was so fulfilling to me. And so I think people are missing those opportunities because they're moving too fast. They
Yeah.
hustle, grinding, they moving, they going, they're trying to do too much. And so I believe that we're living in a time where people are missing the opportunity to embrace their own life because they're so caught up, they're so goal driven that they forget about themselves. They think everything is about achieving a goal.
Well, let me say this. I'm going to shift. We're living in a pandemic. And I believe that people are getting the message loud and clear. I do believe that there's an impact of the pandemic, which has affected our mental health. But I do believe that we have the message. We got the message. Life is short. Life is precious. What's most important? Those things. My thing is to hold on to the messages that we have, that we're receiving, and use that as a way to inform your choices so that you really get. I was goal driven. I still am. I still have goals in my life, but I'm not goal driven. I'm life driven, right? Because I really get that I have a life, and whatever goals I have can't supersede my wanting to enjoy my life, and that's where I'm at.
Wow.
But I want to create that we are shifting. I just want to create that we are shifting, that people are starting to recognize. You have this whole great resignation. Folks are like, I'm out of here. I'm not working at this place anymore. I had a minute to think about it. Do I feel satisfied? Is this working for me? And it doesn't. No longer are people necessarily waiting until they have a job to leave a job. Folks are like, you know what? I ain't feeling this. I'm out. So people are really taking note as to what is most important to them. And I'd like to continue doing the same for myself.
Yes. I think it's so important when you talk about that. And anybody who wants to join the conversation, always open the floor to anyone who wants to come in, who wants to add value, who wants to comment to something that Valerie said. What she does is she takes her experience and her knowledge that she's acquired over the 15 years and more, and she shares it to help people to really understand how to not only age gratefully, but to get on their right path personally and in their careers. And so I appreciate the information that you're sharing with us today. I know that, during the pandemic, a lot of people have had a lot of challenges, Valerie, and I can't even imagine. I know it was rough. I had a rough patch too. I had a rough patch because I was by myself and I had to find my motivation. I had to find some stuff. And sometimes when we're alone, it is difficult. It is challenging. And so I think what you said about the communities is important. So I want to encourage people out there, if you don't have a community, remember, go to the arrow up top, follow Valerie, follow me, and get involved with some people. Have conversations. Let people know how you feel. Seek therapy. Do those necessary things. So what are some other tricks, I'm going to say, or steps to really, really understanding that we need to be grateful we're still here? Because it's a blessing to still be here, 61 years.
It is a blessing. One of the things I really appreciate about working with women, I do a lot of work with women in the 50 plus age range, is because we have a lot of wisdom. And that's part of aging gratefully. I talk about wisdom as a marketable skill. How about that? So acknowledging the wisdom that we gained over the years, how we, particularly in the workforce, that's when I want to frame it within the workforce, we know how to negotiate a work environment. We know how to show up as mentor because we've been around for a minute. So we know how to mentor our colleagues. We know how to mentor our managers in some cases. We know that many of us who may have worked as managers or directors, we had the office, we had the big office, we might have had the big salary. We still want to get paid, but maybe we don't want as much stress. We got the wisdom to know that having an office is not everything, but working in a culture that supports you and loves you and pulls for your success, that has some degree of flexibility, is really more important. And you know what? When we get clear on our values, whether it has to do with work or in our personal life, things start to show up. Things start to show up because the more that we have clarity around who we are and what we want, things will show up for us. We will continue to be blessed because of it, because we're being intentional about our lives. We're not just taking it day by day. We're taking it day by day, but we're being intentional about putting out into the universe what we want, who we are, how we want to connect. I mean, you and I, if it wasn't for the reunion, and I just got to acknowledge you, Crystal, because, that 40th Jamaica High School reunion in 2018, our 40th anniversary, was a turning point for many of us to come together, to support each other. That's what I'm talking about. And that was just you and Mark. The gift that you gave us was the opportunity to reestablish relationships, form new relationships, and provide a community of support. And that's what I'm all about.
And I thank you for that acknowledgement. It was God. It was God. Listen, you said something a minute ago, and it made me think when you talked about the wisdom. We came up in a time, Valerie, where you remember the people sitting on the steps and the stoops, and they would share us the story and stuff. It's kind of sad because in this generation, they don't have too much of that. They don't get a lot of that like we did. We would sit outside and people would share their stories and stuff. People are so busy now, they don't do that anymore. Do you agree?
I think that we get it differently now. Now you see virtual events and seminars, so we can still get it. And I think it still behooves us, as a community, to engage in those things that they seem that they were just organic in our lives. You didn't have to work so hard to have people come together and sit on a stoop. But it's so interesting, Crystal, because even with social distancing now, this world is changing. And one of the things that I say also to folks, we have to not resist the now. What's happening now? To me, I spend less time thinking about what was, and I focus on what's now. How can we still create that environment of support? And you do it, Crystal. How do we create an environment of support and love right now?
Yes.
How do we use technology to support?
Matthew's another Jamaica High person that's out here. I see her name, so she's out here. I want to acknowledge everybody that comes through now, that comes back and does the replay, that comes back and listen, because the idea is we are here trying to give you some nuggets to help you to really tap into yourself. The whole goal is tap into you, because I hate, and I know Valerie does too, I hate to see somebody that has lived their whole life and they still never really did nothing that made them happy. They lived their whole life serving others, taking care of others, but they never really stopped and explored what makes them happy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this is all about. This is about finding a way to stopping for one moment and just doing something for yourself, man. Doing something that makes you happy as an individual. You deserve that. You've been on this planet for X amount of years, and you deserve something for you. Exactly. And I know that's one of the things Valerie finds out when she helps people to find out where their personal life and their career meets. I'm sure that's when you deal with that. When you find a person who kind of says, I don't want to do this no more. This doesn't do it for me no more. And that's when they want to do something else. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it's I want to show, first I want to give a shout out to Donna Joe, who's here. I work with people who want to show up powerfully on their job or who may be in transition. And frankly, a lot of the coaching ends up to be life coaching, because you're one person, and how you show up in your job sometimes is how you show up in your life. So, we talk a lot about, how to create a life you love. Your job is inside of that.
Wow.
It's your life that we're creating.
One moment. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that there are some people who age ungratefully?
I think that there are people who are sad and lonely. I know that there are people that are impacted by illness, which affects your mental health and your physical health. And I know that there are people that are impacted physically that are aging gratefully, because, so I don't, everyone is on their own journey. Yeah. And I'm not here to judge. Right. Let me say that. I'm not here to judge. I'm only here to talk about how I'm living my life, and sharing it in a way to encourage other people who may not necessarily have the same thoughts around the aging process. It's not like our society celebrates aging, frankly. It's not, so I think that in some ways we do, but you more or less get that there's a lot of youth, a focus on being young, looking youthful, being youthful. But that's external, by the way. We're talking about joy.
I thank you for sharing that. I want to give you kudos for your book that you wrote, Val. You wrote that book, Power Networking from the Inside Out, where the career meets your well-being. And I know that has a lot to do with helping individuals too. I want to give you a moment to just kind of tell people about why you wrote that book, how they can get that book, and what they can expect from reading that book.
Right. Thank you, Crystal. So I wrote that book because networking has been such a powerful tool in my life. So I wanted to write a book that really kind of broke down some of the myths around networking as being salesy or pretentious. That networking is all about sharing, and it's all about listening for how you can be an opportunity, how someone may have an opportunity for you, and how you can support others. So it's a mutually beneficial experience. It's not transactional. It's not, what can you do for me? It's not that. It's, who are you? And being curious about who the other is, as much as you're curious to learn about whether that person can be of support. So that's, I wrote the book because, again, networking has just been, it's a gift that I have. It's something that comes very naturally. Although in the book, I do say I'm a recovering shy person. I used to be shy once upon a time. So yeah, I hope that the book, can be a tool for people and it's an easy read, downloadable. It's downloadable on Amazon, but it's also, if you go to my website, ValerieJLyonsEnterprises.com, you can also purchase the book there. And if you go to my website, I can give you a signed copy of the book. So networking, again, is something that I find we network for work, we network for thank you, Crystal, we network for our jobs, we network to find a place to live, we network to find a partner, so we network for things for a lot of different things that we want in our lives.
Yes, I wanted to go get the book because I thought about
Thank
it.
you.
I got the book. I love it.
Thank you, Crystal.
And in the book, you've got some things in here, but people can write. So
Look
not
at you.
things, but they get to take what you got and you give them and write it down. She has a way that you can actually write some things in the book. So it's an awesome, awesome book. Please go get the book. Please go get this book. It'll bless you. It'll bless you. It'll definitely bless you. It talks about that balance. A lot of people need that balance. And
well, actually, Crystal, I want to say, I don't believe in a work-life balance. I believe you have one life, and you choose. And there's sometimes when you choose work because you need to do whatever, and then sometimes you choose you. And you choose your mental health, your physical health. You choose taking more time to travel. You choose it. So the whole concept of balance, to me, I don't buy into it. I believe it's a choice. Sometimes we don't have as many choices as we'd like because of life circumstances. But sometimes we have a choice, but we don't recognize we have it because we're so used to living a particular way. And that's part of aging gratefully, is to kind of recognize when you're not who you were, your circumstances aren't the same as what they were, and how can you do life differently?
Wow. Well, I want to thank you for sharing that. And I was just glancing through the book, and I wanted to get up and get it because I need to go back and finish. I started when I got it. I was so gung-ho. It was so good. It's the power of networking inside out. Power of networking inside out. You want to go get this book, Power of Networking Inside Out. Find it on.
I recommended that people go to my website because I'll send a signed copy if they go to ValerieJLyonsEnterprises.com. It's also, you can purchase it on Amazon, but I prefer you to go to my website.
Okay.
That way I can send
Put
you
the
a signed
website in
copy.
the comment. Type it right there for them so they can have, type it in right there so they can come back and get it. I get a lot of people to come back and replay, and then I send it to a lot of different websites. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Val Lyons, and she's giving you some pointers on how to gratefully age. She's also told you some things about just how to just enjoy life. I mean, that's what it's all about. Just like live your life. Like a lot of people use this term, I'm living my best life. So my question to you today is, are you living your best life?
Absolutely.
Think about that. Are you really living your best life?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
are you really living your best life? Okay. So that's what I want you to think about as you take this information back. I want you, Valerie, are there any comment that you would like to leave for the people? Any upcoming events you have coming up, or anything that you would like to share? Any websites? Yes, feel free to put it in the comments and come back and post it later. Anything at this time that you would like to share from your heart?
I want to continue to encourage folks. This is our future is now. You have this amazing life, and even if you're going through some challenges, we all are going through challenges. Some of us are, may not be in our best health, or maybe dealing with loved ones that are not. Just know that there's always an opportunity for you to choose you and to take the time to spend on what makes you happy, and to look for the source that would bring you joy. Whether it's scripture, whether it's writing, whether it's dancing, whether it's singing, being in empowering conversations. Don't give up on yourself.
Wow.
My message. Don't give up on yourself. You matter.
Earlier, you said there's different types of ways you get joy. What were those sources you gave again? You said emotionally,
spiritually, physically. I know I have a personal trainer, and she sources her joy from exercise.
Wow.
And that's that's therapeutic. So for each of us, it's finding the thing or things. I know being by a beach or being in nature does it for me. Having empowering conversations does it for me. Like, where do you find your element? Where are you, when you're in your element? And some of us may have to remember when we were, because we haven't been in our element recently. Don't forget yourself.
Hey! Oh, we just getting all kind of blessings from you. In the building. Hey! I love it. I saw that you wanted to come in. I wanted to give you an opportunity to bless Miss Val and say hello.
Yes.
And tell us if you got anything out of this today. What stuck with you the most? First of all, introduce yourself, tell us where you are, and then tell us what stuck with you the most about what you heard today.
Hi, I'm Donna Jo Matthews, and I'm in Central Islip, New York, and this is just great. I love seeing you ladies on here do this, sharing, and just an opportunity to get together, because the reunion was everything.
It was.
And that allowed us to be able to connect and build community again. And Val Stoop was a place where we hung out.
Yes.
That was it. We hung out. We had good times. We had bad times. But no matter what, that was the place. That was community. And Val said so many different things just about taking time out for yourself. That is so important, especially when you're a caregiver. Growing old gracefully, doing things that you love, that are important to you. Sometimes we spend a lot of times doing things that are more important for everybody else, and we don't take that opportunity to take care of ourselves, to nurture ourselves, to love ourselves. And even now, like, I'm looking for work, so I'm in between jobs. I guess I'll say that, maybe partially retired. I'm not sure. I haven't figured it out yet. But whatever I do going forward, I want to do something that's rewarding to me, as well as being a blessing to somebody else. I don't want to be stressed out all day long, because I can't get the numbers right, or trade is failing. Like, I just want to. That's a part of me taking care of me and enjoying life going forward. Prayer and meditation and walking down. I walk every day.
Yes.
It is so therapeutic. It clears the mind. Crystal, you be out there walking too. I see you.
Yeah, I got to get back to it, girl. It is therapeutic. I got to get back to it. And
It's very, very therapeutic. And just, it's connecting with nature too. Seeing the trees and just how beautiful the earth is. Like all of this God created, right? So it's just beautiful to just connect, to just release, let go. Prayer and meditation, like getting up and praying and just being still and taking time, because sometimes we're so busy, and even in our mind, even when you think you still, your mind is steady running. It's on this thought, it's on that thought. It's like, what am I going to do next? And you just got to just take that time and just say, okay, I'm just going to focus for a minute. I'm going to close my eyes. And sometimes you got to start off with 5 minutes.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I gotta highlight something you said. Valerie, did you hear those 2 words? Did you hear those 2 powerful words she said? She said, be still.
Yes. And it's being intentional, because like Donna Joe was saying, your mind tends to race. Even when you're still, your mind tends to race. So it's, how can I be still and actually be intentional about just letting go and surrendering?
Wow. Yes. So now, also, Donna Joe, I want to give you kudos, because again, you're a caregiver. So you heard what Valerie said about aging gratefully. What was the takeaway that you got from that could perhaps help you in I want to know, you taking care of your dad, I know that you see that he's enjoying himself, that he's getting all out of everything. A lot of times we're blessed when we have an opportunity to be around elders who are still around. What is it that you have seen your dad do that you could tell somebody that you think can help them to age gratefully?
Something. Well, he really likes to try to keep busy. You know what I'm saying? Like, not, sometimes we kind of surrender to whatever it is that's happening in our life, right? And not push past it. We kind of give in. So one of the things that he did, what he did and continues to do, is he continues to try to be busy and push past, whatever limitations he may be encountering right now, because he's 96. So
wow. Valerie, 96.
I know. 96. I know. It's amazing.
Exactly. So it's not easy. And even for like being a caregiver, and I'm sure you've experienced this too, Crystal, sometimes we got to let them be, let them try, let them do it, because they still want their own independence too, even though they know they need help. We just got to say, okay, you go ahead. You let me know when you're ready for me to help you. We just got to really meet them where they are and support them on this journey, because it ain't easy for them and it ain't easy for us.
Right. But girl, can you see us? Can you see us still in here if there is a Facebook at 96?
Ooh, God bless us.
Yes. Well, I thank you so much for coming through. I know, Val, if you want to say something to Donna, I'll let you say something to her. I wanted you to know that she was out there. And Donna, I thank you so much for giving her flowers. I think it's very important that we do that to each other while we can.
Absolutely.
Well, we don't do it. Donna Joe knows how much I love her. I mean, the fact that we, over all these years, because we were children when we met. We were children, and our relationship has just evolved over the years, and it's a real blessing when you have a home girl
from on the block,
around the way.
I lived on the same block.
No, I was around the corner.
You lived around the corner.
Same neighborhood. What neighborhood?
Hollis,
Queens. Oh, that was Hollis. Oh yeah, but I'm talking 97. Wow.
Donna was on 197th, and I was on 198th, and we just have maintained a very beautiful relationship, and it's really been a blessing that we've been able to support each other throughout our years, even having a gap at some point in our early adulthood, but then coming together has just been a true blessing. And I love Donna daily, and she knows. Donna, you'll always be my fly girl. That's for sure. I told you that.
Val will always be my friend. Val, Wayne, the whole crew. I mean, we just had so much fun, so much craziness. And, you know, even back then we did things like, we comb hair, braid each other's hair, grease each other's hair. Like kids don't do that nowadays. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, let me ask you, ladies, this as we get ready to bring this to a close. I want to ask you this for somebody who might not be 61 yet. We're up there. We done passed the 60, and we are grateful to be here. If you knew back then what you know now, when it comes to aging gratefully and just being the best you can be and taking full advantage of living your best life, what would you share with anyone who has not quite got as far as we have at this point? I'll start with you, Donna Jones, and I'll let you in as we begin to bring this live to a close, Valerie. What would you take what you know now that you didn't know then to somebody who's younger and hasn't got where we are yet?
Take care of yourself. Take time for yourself. Try to, eat healthy. Make sure you drink that water, get that exercise in. Self-care is so, so very important. And a lot of times we just don't take care of ourselves. Go to the doctor, get your doctor's appointments and stuff like that. Take care of that. I remember I used to go to this dentist, right? And in my later years, my new dentist said, I don't know who was taking care of your teeth. I was like, so just make sure that the people that you are allowing to be a steward over your body, you know what I'm saying? Have good credentials, know what they're doing. Like, just don't accept the okie doke, or just don't, like, our bodies are our temple and we only get one. And it's just really important that you take care of it, make good decisions that benefit you, not because somebody else thinks it's right, or because, it's going to be more beneficial to somebody else and not you. You know what I'm saying? Like, make yourself a priority.
I love it. I love it. Valerie?
Donna said so many powerful things. I know for myself, I would say to my younger self, and so for people who are younger, you matter. You are a beautiful gift. Treasure your body. Treasure your mind. Put yourself first. As you grow in your career, know that your work is what you do. It's not who you are. You are bigger than your job. You are not your job title. Your salary does not define your worth. You have a full life. Live your life and don't put anything before your mental health, spiritual health, and emotional health, and your family, your spouse, those who are married. Treasure your marriage and your vow. Recognize the power of union, and really do the work.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you have it. I mean, the lady said it. I don't have to say no more than that. They gave you all. I want to thank you, ladies, for coming here today. And just, Donna, follow me. I don't know if I'm following you. Follow me. Let's get together. Let's talk. I would love to talk to you about the caregiving. I'm going to be doing a lot more for people to really, really take the responsibility of caregiving more seriously and really understand what it takes. I want to shine more light on that because I don't think it's enough shined on it. But I just bless God for both of you.
Yes,
I'm so grateful connected back to you. This right here is touching to me because I know you ladies. You understand?
Yes.
On here that I never met. We grew up together. You understand? This is like a genuine live of people who have known each other for over 40 years. So this is love. This is genuine. This is so authentic. And I just thank God for you. And I want everybody that comes in, if you come back later on, follow these two ladies. Make sure you get involved with the Joy conversation.
Hi, Miriam. I'm here. I'm going to be with you in 1 minute.
Book, if you don't have it, make sure you go get it. At her website. Make sure you type your website right now, Val. Type your website.
I didn't want to.
But y'all go get it. Make sure you come back tonight at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. I got a young man who I'm interviewing who's a 2-time Grammy producer. He produced for Jennifer Holiday. Oh man, he did so much for so many people. I can't even look at his discography right now. But you don't want to miss tonight at 7 o'clock. And here, I want to say this. You have a story. If you have overcome something, if you have been through something, if you're going through something and you want to share it, you can do that right here. So make sure you come back. It's called Story Time, but it's meant to just help people. My mission is to stir up the gift, instill hope, and save lives. My name is Crystal Bodie Smith. You can follow me at www.IamCrystalBodieSmith.com. God bless you. I always say keep hope alive, and I'll see you guys at 7 p.m. Love you, ladies. God bless. Appreciate it. I'll see you at 7 p.m. All right, baby.